Hey, everybody. Let's see if I'm on mute now. I don't think I am. Hey, welcome to
Hey
American Courts 2.
guys.
That's Allie. So
Hi everybody.
the picture of the beautiful dog is Allie. Allie has people that live close to her that don't know her and don't need to see her on YouTube just yet. So she'll explain some of that here. Say hi to everyone, Allie.
Hi guys. Yeah, the reason for it's weird. Like you guys know me a lot more than some of the people in my real life. Like online I'm super 100% me. And there are a lot of people in my real life who don't know my full story for what you'll probably figure are obvious reasons. Not everybody in my life needs to know everything. Um, but I still want to use my life and my story and my experiences to maybe shed light on things that people don't think about or don't know about or have absolutely no idea. Like I've noticed so many people who've said, "You know a lot about this and this and this." Like I've learned so much about like I had no idea that all of this existed and like I'd love to get the education out there. So that's the reason you get to look at my beautiful puppy. I found her when she was 10 weeks old. She was roaming the streets of my neighborhood loose. We think somebody got her for a Christmas present and dumped her in a nice neighborhood with nice big back fenced backyards. But yeah, she was like 10 weeks old and roaming around. I took her door to door and tried to find her owner and nobody found her. And she's been mine for 7 years. So she's my baby girl. And her name is Lana. If you guys ever watch the animated series Archer, she is named after the character Lana from Archer. So yeah, that's it. That's her. Now I can't hear you.
How about now?
Now I can. There we go.
Hot
Yeah,
damn.
there we go.
Okay, I've never seen the show Archer. You talking about there was a cartoon of that, or is it a comic book movie?
Yeah, no, it's an animated series on FX. Like it's an adult animated series, and it's about spies, and it's really. The guy who does the voices for Bob's Burgers, H. John Benjamin, he's a very famous voice actor. He is the lead character in that, and it's hysterical. It's a funny show. So not for kids at all.
Okay, so KK says sweet puppy, and Bodie says beautiful people have a dog in their thumbnail.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah. KK,
Okay.
your puppy is so pretty.
Jay's got an ugly dog on her profile picture.
This is llama.
Okay, it's a llama. It's a llama.
Llama.
Okay.
Drama llama.
They say to picture your audience naked, right? Maybe not a good idea this time.
Yeah, maybe later. My husband is out of town for the weekend, so you never know.
Okay, so Jay is telling me that when I'm muted, there's no echo. But when I'm not muted, there's an echo.
I also noticed she said it's your fault, Bill. Let's not leave that part out.
Oh, damn. Okay, you got me there. Okay. So I'm going to play strong on the mute side. And so what we're going to do, everybody, I'm going to mute you real quick, so let's see how that goes. Okay, yeah, there's got to be another speaker somewhere coming, so we'll figure that out during it. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch some court. We're going to watch some Fleischer court, and we're going to get to talking about some of the stuff that we don't get to talk about in the chat. Some of the stuff about addiction and some of the stuff about behaviors, and we're just going to go on that kind of stuff and just kind of get into a little bit more deep conversations on it. It looks like we're doing good there, so we're going to jump into it and we'll go. And for the moderators, we're just going to block out hate. I'm just saying we can have a conversation, but we're going to block out hate. So here we go.
What's jail?
It's the same. I don't usually come here. If you look at my record, no felonies, no misdemeanors. But currently, I'm being harassed by a group of white
felonies.
Oh, of course not. No, I'm being harassed by a group of white and Spanish terrorists that seem to work for the police department. Every month, I seem to have an incident with a misdemeanor charge. And
if you violate these conditions, if you pick up a new case, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. The only thing I'm asking you to do is don't have any contact with this person. That's it, and no weapons.
I understand that.
You ever have a misdemeanor, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present during questions and interviews of the state of Texas. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you. Please don't say anything.
On April 24, 2024, officers followed up on an investigation into an assault that occurred on April 18, 2024. Officers spoke with a complaining witness who stated that at 2001 Ladbrook in Kingwood, Texas, the defendant, his ex-wife, was upset that he was already in the admittance process at the hospital after she arrived. The defendant slapped the defendant in the mouth with her hand, causing pain. The complaining witness ID'd the defendant via a photograph. The officers obtained a video footage of the incident that corroborated the story.
So he's in a hospital being admitted?
No, their child was being admitted to a mental health facility, and they're divorced and they were having a dispute over the child. And so, and actually this happened in Kingwood, Judge, which is in Montgomery County.
I'll go ahead and jump in there. This one was kind of partial to me. Alli, have you seen this one?
I haven't, or I probably have when I was moderating, but I didn't pay attention to it. Like a lot of moderating is not paying attention to what's going on in court. It's paying attention to chat. So
Right. So
most of these will be kind of new for me. Yeah.
okay. So the best I remember on this one, and I'm pretty sure I got it right. Husband and wife are separated. Son's going into a mental hospital, which is a tough enough time. Then the husband and wife start raising hell in the parking lot, and she whoops the hell out of him, and then she's the one that ends up getting arrested for it. And so,
Okay.
dealing with an ex is hard enough. Dealing with a kid that's going into mental hospital is hard enough. But you put them both together, and you end up in court. And
So she hit the father because they were like yelling at each other about admitting the kid. I don't understand.
yeah, I think
I'm
so.
sorry.
We're getting ready to get into it, but it's something about someone wasn't at the
Okay.
hospital. Someone met someone at the hospital, and just co-parenting is a pain in the ass to begin with, and it just got
100%.
nasty right off the beginning. And this lady, to me, she looks like she's got it together. I don't know if she was drinking. I don't know what was going on in her world, but
Right.
either way, she ended up there. So let's go and see.
Is that true? Let's see. Where did this happen?
So this be the bottom of summary of the facts. The incident occurred in Harris County, Texas. I, Officer Amber Wright, declare the penalty of perjury that the foregoing is true and correct based on the information and belief. That's part of the death.
Do you want me to look up the address to
Sure.
see? I mean,
It's our understanding it's Montgomery County, but I don't know how it was filed here, but it just,
Lisa, so Damien, where did it happen? What's
2001 Ladbrook,
2001 LAD?
PROOK.
Is it Kingwood, Texas? I mean, it's an Humble. It's like right out of like 2 minutes out of Humble, right? At Tascasita.
yes.
That's Harris County. No?
It is, but when it's considered a hospital, the jurisdiction is not, that's not what the.
No. What matters if it's in Harris County. I don't care about laws and this and that.
Okay.
My only concern is it really in Harris County?
County or Montgomery County.
Was it in Montgomery?
Montgomery County, it's Kingwood Pines Hospital, mental hospital. Kingwood Pines Mental Hospital.
I don't know. I think
April
it's
8th.
Harris County.
No, not the date, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Just, it's okay. I'll look into it.
Look
Judge.
into it.
Yes, I'll look into it.
And if
It's
it's
okay.
truly if it's in Montgomery County, then it should have been filed in.
It's okay. Just leave it alone for
Let me tell you something.
We'd rather it be here than Montgomery. leave it
Be
alone.
careful what you wish for.
Yes. 'Cause it's
Really?
easier to handle here than Montgomery.
Really? Okay.
I do know that.
Okay.
Go ask around.
Yes,
I
we'd
promise
rather
you.
No,
be
I
here.
know, I know.
I just,
I've heard.
yes.
Yeah, right.
I just,
Okay.
yes.
Mhm.
When I heard Kingwood, I was like, That is Montgomery County, so that's why I was,
I don't know. Maybe
I'll look
some
in- I'll
parts
look
are
in.
in,
yeah, I'll look into
Some
it, but just don't say
not.
anything. It's okay.
I don't know, but Harris County handles a lot of things differently.
Yes.
Criminal cases versus Montgomery County, I'll tell you that.
So
I've
pause for a
heard.
second.
So for right now,
All right, with you.
So I actually live in a similar situation to them here in Austin, where if you cross the street, I'm in Travis County, which is the main county that Austin is in. But I'm technically in Williamson County. And the way the county lines are cut, like you can drive straight through the county on a straight road like 4 different times. You'll go from Travis County to Williamson to Travis to Williamson to Travis to Williamson, just driving on a straight road because of the way the county's cut. And quite a few of you know, well, maybe not everybody knows, but about, what was it, last month? It was about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. Yeah, it was about 2 months ago. It was the first part of August. I was arrested for a warrant that was 7 years outstanding I didn't know existed in Williamson County. I was where I was arrested, but the warrant was out of Travis County. And because of that, because of the extradition issues, I couldn't get a PR bond. I had to wait to get extradited and have a redetermination hearing before I was allowed to get a PR bond. And I don't have any criminal record except for that one arrest 7 years ago. So that really screwed me, the whole way the county lines cut thing. And I just happened to be in a neighboring county. It was a nightmare. So I get what she's saying makes it a nightmare. Totally get it.
Okay, well, how far away were the courthouses? Did you have to go anywhere different, or did you just sit in the same jail cell, go to the same courthouse, same thing?
Well, I got taken to the Williamson County Jail, which is in Georgetown, which is about 25 minutes away from where I live. And then the Travis County Courthouse is in downtown Austin. Now, they probably would have extradited me in about 24 to 48 hours, but I didn't know that then. I just knew that I had this $10,000 bond hanging over my head. And I wasn't going to be able to fix it until whenever they decided to pick me up and take me to Travis County. But I can tell you the jail's a lot nicer there. I preferred Williamson County over Travis County. But no, the next week I got on a bond. The next week I went to court, and they had already dismissed my case. My case was already resolved. They were like, this is from so old. It was a theft case from 7 years ago. I got a deferred probation on. Back then, I was crazy. I was in active addiction. I didn't care about anything other than drugs. So I just thought, stay out of trouble. Well, don't get caught for a year, and this would fall off my record. And obviously now I know better, but back then I didn't. And apparently it's just, I had never gotten in trouble ever since then. It's just been hanging over my head. I got pulled over for a taillight being out.
Well,
So.
username profile said next time just keep driving ATX. The cops don't mind.
Hey, if you know anything about Williamson County, this is you think Fulton, it's on par with Fulton County as far as corruption. There are several documentaries about it. There's a big documentary that Showtime did, I think around 2020 or 2021, about a high school kid that lives just a few miles away from where I live. And he got arrested for a false allegation for like CSC of a minor. And he never, because it's a long story, but it wasn't true. They had exculpatory evidence and they buried it. And that's not the first time this has happened with Williamson County. So everybody knows, don't do anything bad in Williamson County. Like, it's a known thing. Like, everybody says, low and slow, you're in Wilco, don't drive fast. So yeah.
Well, in your case, was it police corruption or was it Alli being dumb?
In my case, it was me being dumb. Like, it was 100% my fault. Yeah. But I was scared. I definitely wasn't interested in being in Wilco longer than I needed to be.
Yeah, and I had a time when I was 14. Me and some friends were down at the creek, and there was alcohol and weed. And whenever the police got there, they roughed us up. They beat the hell out of us. But no one ever got arrested. It was the police just being tough to kids.
Yeah.
That was back in the 90s. So they were allowed to do stuff like that. They were allowed to have interaction with people that didn't end up in court. Now,
Right.
now they can't have interaction.
Bodie,
Yep.
Go ahead. I
What
was just
Bubby
going to
say?
answer Bodie's question. He said deferred means there isn't conviction. It does, but it's still probation, and so you still have to do everything that is a part of probation. And if you do that, then it won't show up as a conviction on your record. It'll still show up on your record, but it won't technically qualify as a conviction. I didn't do anything. I didn't report. I didn't do anything. I was like, oh no, I'm fine. I just need it. The words "don't get in trouble for a year" is all I listened to, even though I know there was probably a host of conditions. And honestly, back then, if I knew I needed to report, I probably wouldn't for fear of a drug test. So, but yeah, it's on my record now. I fucked it up. I shouldn't have. I really wish I would have had an opportunity to. I would have even gone to. I was hoping when we went to court that I would be given the opportunity to try to do the year over, because now I have my shit together. I know exactly what to do. I could easily do the year on probation and meet all the conditions, no problem, if it would be fall off my record. But the time we got to court, they didn't even have my name on the docket. I was like, okay, I'm the one who set the court appointment. I know my name's on the docket. And she was like, oh no, your case is already resolved. And so they just terminated my probation, what they call term unsat. So it's an unsatisfactory termination of your probation, which means if in the future I get in trouble, if I ever want probation again, they're going to look at that probation. What I didn't do well on that, and that could hurt my chances of probation in the future. But the moral of, or the goal of the game is to not get in trouble, and that's kind of where I'm at now,
Right.
is to just
Well,
not get in trouble.
but also if you do, and
Yay, Kippy!
we're using Judge Fleischer as the example here because he's an everyone he's universally loved. We didn't throw up Judge Boyd, or we didn't throw up another judge that's controversial on it. But with Judge Fleischer, I've seen him give people deferred. That's funny. I just said deferred compensation, thinking of money. He gave people deferments, and then they come back, like you're saying, they come back after a year and they haven't done anything. There's no reason you should give them another chance, under that circumstances. Now, I'm assuming what you had was a misdemeanor, so I'm assuming
Yeah,
that you could
it was
pay
my
the lawyer.
first. Yeah, it was my first and only arrest. I had a great public defender, and it's the only time I've ever been arrested, except for this last one, obviously a month ago. But no, I didn't even have a speeding ticket or anything. And I had planned to go into court and just try to explain to them, look, I have documentation proving that back then I was a bad person, but I have 3.5 years of sobriety that I have documented at a clinic. I have my clinic manager, or not the manager, but my counselor, who gave me a printout of all of my UAs for the last year that have been 100% clean. She was willing to come to court and back me up, saying, she's good. But they had already it was already handled by the time I got there. So that was great. So thank you, Julie, for the super chat.
Thank you, Julie.
Love
Thank
you.
you.
That's great. Appreciate
all
that.
All of this stuff is new to me. Whenever I started my American Courts channel, I never did anything live. I never did anything, anything of the sort. And so the memberships and the super chats and all that's new to me. It's going to take a little while to get used to it and get comfortable with it. But me and Alli's going into this. Hopefully, we're going to have her doing a show on the channel, and that will go to her. And that's how we hope to do this. We hope to make this a family event here. And so,
yeah, I hopefully if you guys like this and you like what I have to say and the crazy ass stories that I've got, I know a lot of you laugh at them all the time. So I'd love to have you guys. So if it's something you guys like, I'm down to do it.
And so Victoria's
It's me, Julie. It's Alli.
Yep. So Victoria's saying, don't get in trouble, Alli. You got this. Victoria, what Alli is saying is that when she goes on vacation, she's got to come to Harris County. That way you can get her out if she does get in trouble.
Yeah, I'm going down there Tuesday. Yeah, I'm gonna be in Judge Fleischer's court on Tuesday. I don't know if anybody knows that. Kathy from Court Vibes is flying in. Donald is gonna be there, and so we're gonna go harass Victoria and throw Skittles at her all day. It's gonna be amazing. No, Julie, I am not his wife.
Oh no,
That's
no,
Emily.
no. So
David, thank you.
So Julie, this is how it works. Alli's a mod on the channel, and me and her got to talking about having similar paths. And so we got to talking about, just the stuff you can't talk about on some of the channels, the stuff you can't do with YouTube. And we kind of talked about how a lot of people a lot of people have experienced stuff like this, and maybe we can talk about it. Maybe we can help somebody. So, but no, Julie, my wife's name is Emily, and Allie's got a husband. I don't know what his name is, but
His name is Husband.
yep, his name is Husband. I was trying to think. I was going to call him Big Will.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's I call Will's the movie star version of my husband, and my husband is the regular star version, the regular guy version of Will. So if you guys know who Will is, he's a lawyer, an attorney in Judge Fleischer's court, and he's gorgeous. Oh my goodness. So my husband looks a lot like he literally does get stopped a lot at he's a server at a restaurant, and he gets told all the time that he looks like Jason Momoa. More specifically, Khal Drago, which is his character from Game of Thrones. Like people stop him in the grocery store and say that he looks like that, and he kind of does. Like this, he's a big guy. He's 6'5". He's got the beard. He's got the dark hair. He's got the piercing blue eyes. Like he's a good looking guy. So yeah.
And I'm just updating everybody. Make sure. No reason to be embarrassed, Julie. ATX is a great lady. So, well, we're gonna jump.
No, you're fine, Julie. No, great. No, ask questions. I want everybody to ask questions, whether they think it's embarrassing or not, because you can't fix what you don't know is broken. So ask questions. Nothing is going to be embarrassing here. Like we love to clarify. We want everybody on the same page. So don't ever be embarrassed asking questions. We're all good here.
Yeah.
So yeah, Julie.
So, Fozzie, you're asking where Emily is. Emily's parents are celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary, and Emily is in Pensacola for the weekend. So, I get to spend time flying drones and taking pictures. So, I'm having a blast for the weekend. Emily's having a blast with her parents, and life is good.
And my husband, I just dropped him off right before this over at his best friend's house. They are driving to Arlington, which is right outside of Dallas, so about 3 hours away, because his best friend is taking him to the Cowboys Lions game. His best friend's a huge Lions fan, so they're going to the game up there, and they're not coming home till Monday. So in the 10 years that we've been together, this will be the longest amount of time that we've spent apart. So it's going to be interesting.
Okay, so Julie was saying that she loves you to the moon and back, ATX.
Yeah.
And so
I love Julie. Julie, you're so great.
Yeah, Julie's one of the ones that whenever I do my show, I kind of look, and if she don't come on, I'm like, wonder if everything's okay tonight. But it's amazing. It's amazing to me how many streams people watch a day, and so that's amazing.
Yeah.
And yes, username. They are good people. 50 years they've been together, and it's amazing how well they get along. And I met and married their daughter within a week, and so it took them about 10 years to accept me into the family. And
wow, you don't waste time, do you?
No. I when you meet the right person, so.
Dude, honestly, seriously, same thing with me and my husband. Like he actually was really good friends with my parents for like a year before I ever met him. And my parents kept saying like, "Oh, you gotta meet this guy," and I just let it go in one ear out the other. And so finally, I was like, "Okay, I'll meet him. I'll show up." So I showed up one night, and the second that we met, we were inseparable for the rest of the night, and literally the last 10 years. Like we ignored everybody for the rest of the night, and just paid attention to each other. Everybody melted away from the instant we met. So I get it. I 100% get it.
Yep. So Bodie was asking, are you comfortable telling us if you have kids? I'll start. I've got 3 kids. I got a 25-year-old daughter who is perfect in every way. I've got a 23-year-old son who is great, and I call him perfect, but he's in rehab, struggling with an addiction in life, and then I've got a 16-year-old daughter who just rolls her eyes at me, and so she's on her way to being perfect. So, but whenever me and Alli got to talking, she talked about her addiction in the past, and I was, I went to her for advice for my son because I'm a wimp. I've never smoked a cigarette, never drank a beer. I've never done anything like that, and I have a son who, he didn't throw his life away because he's able to get it back. He's been clean for 8 months now, but he certainly put himself in a bad spot. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have any kids. We have nephews. I have a nephew that we're currently in a massive custody fight with my nephew, the mother of my nephew who lives in Seattle. My brother-in-law lives here in Austin, and he's been trying to get his son back for a year now, has 2 court orders. She's been put in contempt twice, been found in contempt twice consecutively, and ordered twice consecutively to turn him over, and she refuses. We go there with the court order and the sheriff in tow, and the sheriff says if she won't let him go, there's nothing we can do. So that has been a massive struggle. But that little boy is my whole world. I had him full time for a full year. I was his mom. He didn't know his mom. He knew me. Between the ages of 2 and 3, I had him full time. And then we haven't really had him since. She's had him ever since. So he's the closest thing I have to a kid. Otherwise, I have my dog, Lana, who is my profile picture. She's my doctor. My daughter, my baby girl. Yeah, for a baby. You're muted now, Bill. You're muted.
Yep, I'm muted.
There you go.
Yep. Kimby, I was just saying we're in this together. Username saying that he grew up hard, but he's even perfecter now because of it. Absolutely. And that's what I see with my son. I see my son growing through this, and I think he's going to be a stronger person for it. I just simply didn't know how to handle it, on a day-to-day basis. I didn't know. There was one time where we called, I think we called the program where it was a rehab that he had left, he'd walked away from. And they encouraged us to go to Narcotics Anonymous. And I had to tell the person, like, look, I'm not the one with the drug problem. And they explained, like, hey, you need to go to learn how to cope with it. And, I was just lost because I was saying, no, I'm trying to get my kid help, not me help. And so.
But yeah, it really does help. It's something that my husband, he hasn't gone, but it's something that he has expressed, like that's something I need to do because I don't have anybody to talk about it. Like I said, there's not a lot of people in my real life who know. He didn't even know. Like he didn't know for God 6 years, 6.5 years. He didn't know. He had no idea. I mean, I wouldn't say he had no idea. I know denial plays a large part in it. But yeah, he's like, I need somebody to talk to about it. I don't have anybody, and I would like to talk to people who can relate because I have all this in me. Like I feel like I'm such a chump for not realizing the steps or the signs. I should have known like years ago. Why didn't I see the signs? And so yeah, it absolutely helps with that. Like it's a family disease. It doesn't just hit one person. It takes out the entire family.
Yep. And my son is like me. He's stubborn as hell, and he knows everything, and so he's just stubborn. So now he focuses on exercising and working out. It's different coping mechanisms, and so he's doing great. If everything goes right, he'll be home before Christmas, and we're hoping for that. And then he's 23 years old, so then I got to work on getting him out of my house. So.
Yeah, but you know what? We knew everything at 23. I feel like I knew everything at 23, didn't you? It wasn't until I was like in my 30s that I realized I didn't know shit.
Yep. So we're going to go ahead and go back with it, or else we wasted time even going to court. So let's follow this one. I like this lady because to me she seems like a normal mom. She seems like a proper lady. She doesn't seem like somebody you'd hear saying, "Hey, I got to take off Tuesday to go to court because I beat up my husband." And so,
right, absolutely, yeah.
So
let's do it. Sorry, we started. Sorry,
we
started talking.
I'm going to find that there's probable cause. So
approximately like not even a mile away from Montgomery County. Okay, it's still in Harris County.
Okay. So my question now is, do you have a RIP done?
No, I do not have a record yet on the judge.
So is this?
They're divorced.
Okay.
They've been divorced for 2 years. They share custody of the children.
Okay.
And this was an issue involving, the
Guys, keep it down, please.
The hospital is the hospitalization of the child, not of the defendant. I mean, not of the complaining
Right.
officer.
How old is the child?
12.
Not to be 12 August 1st.
Yes, almost 12.
Okay. Do you have primary custody of the child?
I have primary residence and just for school.
Yes. Who has primary custody?
In these
We're primary conservators. I'm the domicile. I'm primary domicile. I wanted primary mental because this is the second time that she's been in a
Attempted
hospital.
suicide, yes.
Yes. And
No, my concern usually because of these high stress situations, I usually order no contact with the complaining witness in this type of case because, being that it's even more high stress, that's only going to add to the frustration and I don't want anything worse to happen.
she was already in custody. She didn't witness any of this. Got it. And
No, he's not saying no contact with your child. He means no contact with your ex.
Oh,
That's, I
yes,
no contact with the ex.
Amy said to speak with you about that. We have a go-between that we have had, or she's the babysitter, like a nanny, but
That exchanges, that you exchange the children through?
yes, ma'am. And she's been with them both since they were 6 weeks old. She saved my son's life when he was choking. And she is actually, she's like their grandparent. I don't want to say anymore.
Okay, that's fine.
Is the child currently still hospitalized? She's out?
She's out, but
Still having issues, yes.
well, I don't know what else I can.
No, that's all. It's enough.
We don't need to know.
Comply with the medication. I've had to go and get the medication on his possession. Sneak it
So
into her because it's a psych medication for her not to kill her.
So the complaining witness you're saying is not administering the medication to the child as
Correct.
needed.
But, and he cussed her out and it's in a text from her. And
So-
he said, I'm not paying.
No.
Thing is that, ma'am, in these types of situations, what you need to do is you need to go to the felony. You need to go to the family court.
I haven't.
Yes, and that's,
Already have.
yes, she's working with a family law attorney, yes.
You need to go to the judge and say, look, judge, this is what she needs. If he's not in compliance, then you take,
Yes,
I
she's
haven't.
gone back to the
Mission away.
family.
I have it all on our
Yes.
family wizard. I had that.
Yes, she's gone back to her family law attorney and they're working this,
you
that's.
cannot take matters into your own hands. Because you're the one that's gonna go to jail. I'm ordering you
pause it for a
now
second.
not to have any contact with him.
So what he's talking about, I don't know if anybody knows this, he's talking about My Family Wizard, which is an app that families that are going through like a contentious divorce with custody situations. It's an app you download and that's how you communicate like with your ex about your kid. It filters out or flags specific words like cuss words or anything, and it's made a record and it's sent to the friend of the court. So the friend of the court has has detailed records of every communication you do. You do have to pay for it. I think it's a little bit expensive. I've heard people, defendants or not defendants, but people in family court complain about how expensive it is. But it's pretty effective. It's good. I wish that they would do that in my situation because my ex-sister-in-law in this situation with my nephew is, like I said, keeping him, won't release him, and refuses to do any communication except by email that she only checks on Mondays. Like, won't even let him talk to him on the phone. So I really wish that they would have the My Wizard app and order it in their situation because they need a record of everything. And of course, my brother-in-law is keeping records and everything, but that would make things so much easier. So for anybody wondering or hasn't heard about it, that's what she's talking about.
Right. Well, so like in this situation right here, if you argue and you can't stand each other as parents,
right. It doesn't allow you to say say threatening or mean language to each other, they say no threatening or
Right.
violent contact. Is that what it is?
Right.
Yeah. So it filters all that out, and if you do that, it flags it and immediately sends it to the friend of the court as like, hey, look at this. This isn't cool. So.
Right. But if you're divorced and you can't stand that person
really?
and that person's a piece of garbage, why would you wouldn't you want to restrict, let's just say I was in a marriage, in a bad marriage, and the wife was a junkie, the wife was, into bad habits and stuff like that. Keeping my kids away from her would be a good thing, wouldn't it? I've seen people in abusive situations to where they're like, oh, he needs to see his daddy. Well, his daddy beats the hell out of the mama every week. So what does the kid need to see the daddy for? And
Yeah, and that
Go ahead.
Yeah, my situation, I don't trust her because now she's been before my brother-in-law was supposed to fly, pay for all the expenses to fly and pick him up and bring him back. And then 2 hearings ago they changed it to where she has to now pay for the travel costs, and now they've changed it this last court hearing like a week ago, that where she has to deliver him each and every time. And I'm afraid that once we get him, if we give him back, she's going to take off with him again. So I don't want anything other than supervised visitation from her, because now the next step is we're going to court to file for custody. Now that we had to wait to get her found in contempt twice before they could file for modified custody, which is just infuriating.
Yeah,
But Jay just said that there's a free version of the My Family Wizard that's used sometimes, so that's very cool.
well, Jay, I don't have to worry about that. My youngest is 16, so I've got 2 years left. If I can make it past the 2 years, there's no child support for me. I'm not planning on getting divorced, but she's losing bargaining power by the day. And so,
Right.
but yeah, it's a mess. When Julie's making a point that if you have to have an app to make you talk nice, I've seen court cases where where the boyfriend has a no communication thing, so he'll send money by Cash App just so he can stick a message in it. And hell, I'd take the money, but it violates it. So we're going to jump back into this one, see if we can make it through this one.
You understand?
All right.
Sir,
I don't care how stressful it is. When I mean no contact in any way, no text messages, Snapchat, phone calls. The gentleman that was just here now, same thing, Snapchat messages. Where is he now? He's in custody. I don't want to have to do that.
but I do want to.
Can they communicate about the
record.
exchange of the children through family law, the wizard?
No.
I mean, no contact means no contact at all.
Okay, today he gets back possession. How do I?
I would use
Linda?
your nanny as the intermediary.
Yes.
She's the one that can have contact with him. What's the nanny's name?
Linda?
You contact Linda, tell Linda what to say, but I
She
don't want you to have contact with him at all.
I just want
That's
to, on the record,
on the record line.
if my daughter dies, it's on his hands.
There's nothing, we can't get that on the
Go
record.
to the family court and ask for an emergency motion and an emergency hearing immediately. You can do that.
Okay,
They have ways to get to a judge if
Okay,
there's an
thank you.
emergency,
I'll leave today. Here,
really. But
there it is, my retainer.
don't take matters into your own hands. It's really going to go sideways. And imagine what's going to happen if you go to jail. What's going to happen to the 12-year-old?
And they have a younger child too, as well.
Mm.
Okay, we just have to handle it through the proper channels. He just wants to make sure you're handling it through the proper channels.
It's okay. You'll get through this. We just need to find the proper avenue to get through it so that everybody gets attention. And I'm telling you, if he's not doing the way that he should, the family courts should help you out. Lisa knows how to handle these things. If you ever have any issues, talk with her. All right.
And I'm in
Now-
communication with her family law attorney as well. That Ned Gill, that's who referred her to me, so we're in communication, so we will
Feel
get
your
this figured out.
pain. And I just don't want to add to any more of the stress, but I think that if you just kind of break away from this individual,
Yes.
I understand your
hopefully
order.
good things will happen. All right, I'm gonna set your bond at $100. I will give you a PR bond today. I'm gonna tell you now, Ms. Villarreal, I will not give you another one.
Sir,
If you violate these conditions, if you pick up a new case, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. The only thing I'm asking you to do is don't have any contact with this person. That's it, and no weapons.
I understand that.
You ever have any issues, talk to Lisa. I know her well. She can come to me and we can hash these things out.
I already took away Reese's phone because she kept asking questions.
Okay.
I couldn't answer.
Yeah, any issues, just talk with Lisa. She can, Damon, anything else?
No, Judge.
Do you mind filing the order for no contact, no weapons, please?
Good judge.
One more thing, I am going to issue a protective order, okay? This is a protective order that identifies Ruben Villarreal as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence or an assault, no threatening, harassing communication. You cannot use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You cannot go within 200 feet of where he lives or where he works. This order is good for 61 days from today. If you have any issues, like I said, Lisa can get a hold of me. We can iron these things out.
Exchanging kids through a third party, through Linda.
That's fine.
Okay,
Right.
We were doing that anyhow.
okay, good. Okay,
Any questions? Okay, if you do, like I said, she'll get a hold of me and then we can hash these things out. Do not leave because we need to have you sign a bunch of paperwork. Now, one more thing. Because you have a representing you, I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court, but you must stay in touch with Ms. Strauss.
she will.
She'll tell you if and when you have to come back to court. Don't go AWOL, otherwise I'll issue a warrant on it. Okay? I believe that. Okay, thank you, man.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Yeah, it's a long, excruciating process, the family court situation. I mean, I'm going through it right now. Everybody who's ever gone through it knows it's long, but I definitely feel her pain. And he's trying to tell her, just like I told my brother-in-law, I was like, the next time my brother-in-law just a couple months ago, or maybe a month ago, went to go get my nephew in Seattle. He got there with the court order and the cops and knocked on the door and hadn't seen him in a year. Hadn't been able to talk to him on the phone. He just turned 5. Hasn't seen him in a year, hasn't been able to talk to him in a year. She holds my nephew behind the door. My nephew's crying because he can hear his dad's there. My brother-in-law is crying because his son's crying. He's not being allowed to see him. And I just told him and he ended up walking away, which was amazing. And I told him, I was like, the next time you go there, you need to have one of us go with you, because I admire you immensely for walking away, because that's exactly what you needed to do. I don't know if you'll have the strength to do it a second time. I know I wouldn't be able to. So it's like, please don't go alone next time, because that's the thing. If you do something, even if the dad is 100% in the wrong, if she does something to screw it up, that screws the whole case for her. And that's the really hard part.
I know the family court stuff is so, it's interesting. It's interesting to watch. I truly enjoy them, but they get so personal so quick, and it's so heartbreaking to hear the garbage that the kid's going through, and how much the parents, normally on both sides, how much the parents just disregard the kid just so they can get at each other. There's so much of
Exactly.
that
And
with
it's just
parents.
like, why are you doing this to him? Like, he's so young, and keeping him away from his father when he's this young is like, it's horrible, not only for the kid, but for my brother-in-law, for us who don't get to see him grow up. And it's infuriating, and it's a long process. It it still is, it's getting better, but it's still super slighted towards the mom. It's also a lot faster if you have an attorney. Your hearings get read a lot faster. I'm talking like you can get a hearing in like 2 weeks, and if you don't have an attorney, it's 3 to 4 months waiting for a hearing.
Yeah. Well,
So,
and I like
and it's
uh,
expensive. It sucks. The whole process needs some serious revamping.
right. Thurston County, Washington, they have different dockets for if you have an attorney or if you don't have an attorney,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah,
can
that's
hear
King
the
County. That's what we're dealing with. We deal with King County out of Seattle. So it's the same exact way. They have a separate docket for non-attorney plaintiffs and attorney plaintiffs. It's crazy.
yeah, and you can see on there if they have an attorney, normally the case is resolved within a few months, and if you don't have an attorney, every time they just pass it off for another couple of weeks, pass it off, just keep passing it off, and so
I blame the brainless court coordinators that don't do anything at their job, sitting next to the judge all day long and eating their Skittles and not doing anything and not scheduling things right. And oh, is Victoria in here? Oh, sorry. Just kidding.
ouch.
I'm just kidding, Victoria. You know I love you.
Seems like they're calling out Victoria there.
See? Look. We have the thievery on film.
What?
I know where they're at.
This was full.
Why are you looking
This
at
was
me?
full.
Dang, who ate 'em?
For real?
What do you mean?
I did get hungry. I
Man.
was getting hungry.
That was just for you, Victoria. We thought we'd play with you on that one.
There you go.
So, all right,
She's on Tuesday. She's gonna hit me. She's gonna take me in a corridor that has no cameras, and she's gonna smack me. I'm just waiting for it.
well,
Yeah, weaponize the Skittles.
so ATX, did you ever see Subway Boy at Fleischer's Court?
Yes and no. I remember him vaguely.
Okay, so Subway Boy, he was acting out, and he was being a goofball, and he got to be taken to the back by Steve a few times. And one of the times that he came back, he his shirt was all tore. It looked like Steve had roughed him up.
Yeah, I think I do remember that. He was making a mess, and then he came back, and he was all torn. I do remember that.
Right. Well, we had an opportunity to interview him on the channel, and he tore his own shirt. He did that to himself, and so it was all a show for him. But I give him credit for being being adult enough to say that. He could have he could have played the victim card and just said, "Oh no, how they abuse people and how they do that." But no, he said
Right.
he said he was just acting out and trying to make a spectacle of everything. He saw it all as a game, and I kept thinking, I was like, I don't know if I'd be using court as my game, but
Right.
he got his charges got dropped. It took a while, but they got dropped, and so that's great for him. We're going to jump to one that was, I think it's about 2 weeks ago now. It's been long enough where this fella's been back in court since then. So we'll jump on that.
Okay. Am I?
That's how you park it. I understand you're trying to hold up your pants, but you can hold them up. Just don't keep your hands.
Back are we?
This time like that.
Are you on something right now, Mr. Akers?
No, I'm stressed out. I'm like, I come from I wasn't gonna talk as a show of respect, but I come from like the kind of breakdown.
Mr. Akers, you stand charged with the offense of criminal mischief. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
Yes, Judge. Officers were dispatched to Houston Recovery Center in Harris County, Texas, in response to a welfare check. Earlier that day, the defendant had been dropped off at the center and became very angry. The defendant began yelling and throwing his shoes at the staff. The defendant walked into a room and closed the door. While inside, the defendant punched the glass door, shattering it. The defendant was also throwing things around the room and hit his head against the wall and the doors. The defendant also urinated in the corner. The complaining witness estimates the cost to repair the glass door to be $1,000 at the Houston Recovery Center.
I would imagine that he's just not welcome back there. Have you?
I spoke with the recovery center. They said that he's now on a no admission list.
Right.
Mr. Akers, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with you because I'm sending you now for a drug test. I want to know what, if anything, is in your system and how we're going to proceed forward. Look at me.
Now that I have drugs in my system.
Yeah, it's time to stop. You are so geeked out now on something. What?
Stress. My life is stress. I know I messed up. Like what you see of me is remorse for doing something I know is stupid. And I
want you to listen to me, and I want you to listen well. I will give you but one opportunity to get off the dope by yourself. If I find that you're using whatever it may be, I'm going to put you in a rehab facility in the jail. I will give you one opportunity to try to get off these demons yourself. But if I find that you continue to use, I'm going to keep you with me. No more dope. I'm sending you now for a drug test. You must take the test and come right back. If you fail to take, look at me. If you fail to take the test, if you fail to come back, I will take away the PR bonds and I'm going to make your bond extremely high. You have to understand, you don't, unless you do, I would imagine that you have no one that's willing to pony up $5,000 to get you out. Am I right? consider that when you're out there in the free world. Because if I put you in jail, even at $1,000 bond, you probably don't have anyone that's going to make it. You're going to sit there. Make wise choices. You get one opportunity. Are we clear? Okay. I want to send him. We'll have him come right back and we'll go from there. And then can you reach out to the microphone, please? All right.
All right, I got muted there. I'm gonna jump in on this one. So this guy, go take a drug test, come back, no more drugs, just cut off, just stop taking drugs right now. I know with my son's situation, there was no rehab. In fact, whenever he finally when the courts allowed him to go to rehab, it was like 3 months before he could get a bed at one. This guy here it sounded like he went to the homeless shelter. He went to the recovery center, whatever it was. And he, tore the place up, burned that bridge. So he's not going to be able to go there. But how do you go and take a drug test, come back and just stop doing drugs? Just cold turkey, no, how does that happen?
I mean, I know it depends on the drug. Like, the only drug that I've ever done is opioids. I've played around with Xanax before, which is a benzo, but I've never done anything like meth. I've done coke a handful of times. I'm not a fan of it, but I know people that were meth addicts, and they said that they didn't get any like withdrawal feeling symptoms similar to like what an opiate addict would go through. So I know stopping cold turkey on alcohol isn't a great idea.
So do you think it would have been a shorter list to mention what you haven't taken?
No, really, I'm an opioid person. That's what I always did, pretty much. I don't really have any other drug history than that. That was my drug of choice. The only reason I know a lot of people know that I do gummies, but the THC gummies are the quote unquote legal ones here in Texas that are the Delta 9, where it's supposed to be like fake joke like THC. I don't know the difference. They're legal here. And the only reason I did those is because I was in a really bad car accident a year ago. And I didn't want to take opiates because if I did that, I would relapse immediately. I know that about myself. So I've actually used to be a huge proponent against weed. I was not a fan of it. My parents are massive potheads, have always been, but and so I never liked it. But as far as having an option other than opiates, I think it's great. It's not something that I'm addicted to. I do it for pain and sleep as needed. And yeah, I get drug tested randomly once a month because I am on methadone. So I go to a methadone clinic every 2 weeks. And and they don't have a problem with that either.
Well, so according to Judge Boyd, methadone means that you're not clean. Methadone means that you're still a drug user.
Right. And Boyd is one of my favorite judges, but this is the one area I do not agree with her on. I think that methadone, especially with methadone, I know she has said many times, I hear her say, well, if you're on methadone, then you're not clean. You need to get off the methadone. And while I'm a huge proponent of getting off of methadone, if you can, it's very hard to get off of. And the best comparison I can give to someone is when you're depressed, you go to the doctor or your therapist and you get on antidepressants. And a couple months later, you start feeling better because the antidepressants are working and you don't stop taking your antidepressants. You're actively encouraged to not stop taking them because you need to keep them in your system. That's what's keeping you happy. And a lot of mental health people can vouch for this or have any experience with mental health. People take their pills and feel happy and then they stop taking them. This is the same situation with methadone. If methadone, I'm on a very, very small dose. If that keeps me from relapsing, from craving, from sliding back into addiction, then that's what I have to do. That's fine for me. I don't see what a problem. You wouldn't tell someone to stop taking their antidepressants. That's my argument. So it doesn't make me high. It doesn't like I don't get high off of it, so it's not that. I have tried several times to taper off, and it's hard. It's very, very hard. That I'm all the way down to 25 milligrams, a quote unquote standard. I hate using that, but I guess an average would be around 200 for an average user. You can get prescribed up to 400. It just depends on the user and the history.
Now,
But 25 is a very small dose.
okay, hold on a second. Thank you, Credence and Mikey. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Hi,
Julie.
Credence, Mikey.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Fozzie. We really appreciate the generosity. Thank you guys so much on that. Back to the methadone, because I'm oddly curious because I don't know anything
Yeah.
about it. You have to have a prescription, probably, right?
Yeah, so there's a clinic that I go to, and so when you first go, you have to go every day. That's how you get your dose. It's in a liquid form. Um, I watched a movie, or it was a series on Hulu called, I don't know. It was like painkillers or something like that. It was about how they made OxyContin and told everybody that it wasn't addictive, and how that made the drug crisis that we have now. Anyways, somebody in that was taking methadone, and somebody asked him, "What does it taste like?" And he said, "A little bit of cough syrup and a lot of cat piss," and that's exactly what it tastes like.
And you enjoy
Um,
taking this, or you just have to?
you have to. It's only available in liquid form. Um, and you have to go to the clinic every day except Sundays. Sundays it's closed, so you get a take home dose. And then over time, as long as you do all your appointments like you're supposed to, all your drug screens are clean, and you have a good record, then over time you can build up take home doses. So you start off with one additional take home dose in addition to Sundays, because everybody gets Sundays, so they're closed. So you'll get like a Wednesday take home dose. So you don't have to go to clinic that day, and then they'll build it up to 2 days a week, and then 3 days a week, and then you'll get a weekly, and then monthly. And I'm actually allowed to do monthly. The only reason I do bi-weekly right now, or every 2 weeks right now, is because I'm tapering down, and so every 2 weeks I want my dose to go a little bit lower. So it's just a super long taper. So yeah.
Okay. And if you got pulled over and you had that with you, do you just have to? Do you just have to?
Each dose is in its own prescription bottle, and it has my name on it. It has a prescription, just like a prescription, but it's liquid in it. And so every single day I have a little bottle that it has a prescription. It has the date I'm supposed to take it on it. Like you can't. And they do random medication callbacks. So at any point the clinic can call me and say, "Come in right now and prove that you still have all of your doses like you're supposed to be taking them." And if you don't show up, or you show up with missing doses, then you get taken down.
Okay,
You don't get to go home
so
anymore.
I got the question.
Yeah, David was right. It's called Painkiller.
Okay,
That was the documentary or the series that I quoted from. Sorry.
and so and so so you've got that. Is it addictive at all, or is it? I'm just,
You
what's the downfall of it?
So you can abuse it. It's absolutely can be abused. It can be used as a painkiller, but it attaches to all of your opioid receptors. So it kills the cravings. You don't really get high off of it. Like if you take a lot of it, you can get high. Um, but just like everything has a propensity for abuse,
Is
pretty
that why you
much.
have to go every day to get it instead of getting like a month's supply?
Yeah, exactly. And you have to that's why, because people will sell their doses. Like when I was an addict, I knew people that sold their doses.
Okay, and see,
So
I'm cheap. I'm thinking
yeah,
about the gas it would take to go get it every day, or the time it would take to go get it every day. It seems like it'd be a pain, and just be a pain to do. Um,
it is. And when I started my treatment, we didn't have a car, and the public transportation system here in Austin is horrendous. So we'd have to get up at 6 o'clock every morning and ride the bus an hour each way to the methadone clinic. And my husband was a rock star. He got up with me every single morning and went with me every single morning to and from. Um,
to go get your crime
uh,
juice.
yeah, yeah. The other morning, this is some people know the story, but the other morning I was laying in bed and moderating Judge Fleischer's chat, and he rolled over and was like kind of sleepily awake, and he was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Hi, will you go get my medicine for me?" And he's like, "Medicine? What medicine?" I was like, "The medicine I take every day." He's like, "Medicine?" Like he was still asleep, and I was like, "My methadone," and he was like, "I'm not getting up and getting your crime juice for you," and I died laughing. That's the dark sense of humor that we have, but oh my god, we laughed so hard about that. So now it's officially dubbed the crime juice. It's pretty funny.
Right. So Bodie put on the screen, that she agrees with Judge Fleischer 99% of the time, but there's that 1% that she doesn't. And she said,
Yeah.
I don't like how he complains so much about pain pills too. Absolutely,
Mhm.
but Bodie, you gotta look at it from, like, I've never taken pain pills in my life. I've never needed to, and so in my head, it's just deal with it. Unless you're suffering from chronic pain, you don't understand the value of the pain medication. You just see the addiction and you see the horrors, that can come from it. I've worked with nurses who, ended up losing their job and going to jail because they started, dipping into the pills. They started, they'd get so addicted to it, they'd short the patients in order to steal the pills. And when you know the nurse, you found out, okay, 3 or 4 years ago, they had a horrible back injury or they had a horrible injury and they got addicted to the pills then. And it just was on and on. So I can understand where Judge Fleischer would say that. I don't agree with him. I'm not an addiction specialist, and I'm assuming he's not either. But I'm assuming he's seen a lot of more horror stories than I have, and he just sees he's trying to protect the county. And he sees that he just sees the devastation it causes on families. But
Mhm.
if you don't suffer from it, how do you know what it is? And so,
Right. And
um,
that's how my addiction started, was pain pills. Like I was very, very, very straight laced. My parents smoked weed, so I hated it. I didn't really drink that much. Like, I mean, I partied as much as a normal, 20-ish girl did, but nothing crazy. And I had medical conditions that caused a lot of pain. And so I went to a pain clinic, and I had a pain clinic, and that's how it started. And it got worse, it got worse, it got worse. Then I started to self medicate after I got divorced when I was 30. And I had a friend that sold Oxy on the side, and I bought from her just for half pain management, half just to have fun. And then it became a, every other day thing, and then an every day. And then it was like, I can't not have this, I'll get sick. So that's actually how I ended up in Austin. Is I wanted to move away because it was so easy to find pills in Oregon. And I was like, if I move to Austin, I won't know anybody there. I won't know how to get a hold of them. So I moved to Austin and came here, and I just couldn't shake it. I had to have, like, I couldn't, the withdrawals were too bad. I craved it too much. And the only thing you can find here, and I couldn't find any pills in Austin. The only thing you could find was heroin. And so when your back's up against the wall and you feel like you're dying, I didn't have health insurance. I couldn't go to a doctor and get pain management anymore. Um, yeah, it sucks. I don't recommend
well,
it, but that's how I started.
Florida, and I'm sure every state feels that they win the record for this, but Florida was known for being pill mills, and we had doctors popping
Yeah,
up on every corner where you could get all the medicine you want. Kimby's making a great point about alcohol, and that's my son.
absolutely.
That's the worst. My son would do a drug if he couldn't get a hold of alcohol. Alcohol was his thing, and he just had to have it. He couldn't drink one beer, he couldn't have one drink. He had to black out immediately. It was a chug,
Mhm.
chug, chug until he blacked out. And like Kimby's saying, you walk in every damn store and that's, right there in front of your face.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Well, and you can get it delivered. You can have it delivered. Like they've got there's, what is that, Drizzly? There's a specific app for delivery of alcohol called Drizzly.
Oh hell, I thought
It's
that
the
app was
Uber
Facebook.
Eats. No, it's literally the Uber Eats of alcohol. So yeah, you can have it delivered. No problem. Yeah, I fully agree with you, Can be like, it's not exactly, it's socially acceptable, and it shouldn't be. Like, my parents are big time drinkers, but in their defense, they're functional alcoholics. I mean, my dad works a 9 to 5 job every single day, doesn't ever miss a day of work. But as soon as work's over, it's party time.
Well,
And
but
that's why he doesn't drive anywhere. He does it at home. You know, if the only thing that pisses me off is their health, they're not in great health and they don't do anything to correct it. And that drives me nuts. But
right. But I've worked with carpenters who couldn't drive a nail straight until they had enough beer in them to focus. They were functional if they had enough in their system. You know, they were pitiful
right.
at the beginning of the morning. I've known politicians that had a good cocaine habit. They were completely functional. And so I'm not going to be judgmental about anybody's anything. But the minute that it drips into like this fella on the screen was pitiful. This fella here, he had no hope left in him. He was later on in the story, we're never going to make it to, but Judge Fleischer was explaining to him, your neuroreceptors are not going to, they just simply don't make the connections anymore. You're burnt out. And so, this guy, the best he can hope for is some sort of managed life, some sort of, some sort of halfway house that can help manage him.
There was also a previous, let me scroll back up. Somebody asked me about if I had tried Suboxone. Gina did.
Yeah.
I have tried Suboxone. That's what I tried when I moved from Portland to Austin. I knew somebody that had some, so I bought some of those. They were not prescribed. I bought some from him to help me transition off of Oxy as I moved to Austin, and it did a decent job. But as far as like keeping the withdrawals away, but the mental, like I in my head, a lot of my addiction is in my head. Like I build things up in my head about that. Like I'm not anyway. So in my clinic gives you the option of Suboxone or methadone, or they do the injectable Vivines or Vivines or something, and that's really expensive. That's super, super, super expensive, like $1,000 a month expensive. But yeah, I don't have anything against Suboxone. It's just that's just happens. I just happen to take methadone. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, and
So that's
Gina's also talking about naltrexone for
yeah,
alcoholism and low dose.
naltrexone. They offer naltrexone too at my clinic too. So yeah, I don't know all of the differences in and out. I know I'm more of a specifically methadone expert, if you would, but I know that it works, and I know that my clinic uses it. It's just some people react to different drugs differently, just as any other drug does. That's why there's 7 different variations of Ozempic and 7 different variations of methadone. It's everything works different for everybody. So yeah.
Okay. Well, then username profiles tell me he can relate to this guy and feels for the situation. My son was definitely on the way to this. He's fortunate that he was able to get help before, and he got help by getting locked up. He got help by getting arrested. He got help by being put in jail. And the state offered 4 years. The defense attorney accepted the 4 years because they said that was the best offer for him. And the judge said, go back and find an alternative. And so the judge effectively saved my kid. He was already he was hey, I'll do good in prison. I'll be just fine. It's only 4 years. Whereas now, now he's thinking about tomorrow. Now he's got a tomorrow to look forward to. He's got his 8 months, sober chip. And he told me he didn't know there was an 8-month chip. And I'm like, hell, they're probably a 3-day chip, 4-day chip. They come up with all kinds of chips. They just want you to be able to mark what you're able to do.
Yeah, celebrate every victory. I have an app. My clinic has an app where you can like message your counselor anytime you need. It has a lot of like, you can set reminders, and they do like positive affirmations. It's actually a really, really cool app, and it has a log on it where it has my count. So I'm in 3 years, 7 months, and 18 days, according to the app, is how long I've been officially in treatment. So that's pretty 1,326 days. That's what my app says. So that's a long time.
Congratulations on that. That stuff, it means everything. It truly does mean everything on there. It looks like my wife.
Emily.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Okay, never mind. Anyway,
Yeah.
so how about those TPS reports? No, just
Yep.
kidding, Emily.
But yes, but we're doing good. And see, like Emily made it to every court appearance, everything, and I think that made a big difference with the judge because the judge saw her every time, and I think that made a world of difference for it. I was always working, but she knocked it out, and but I was saying she cared about it more than he did, and the judge took care of it. The judge, gave him another option, and it worked. But see,
And that's great.
my fear is that whenever he gets
That's
out,
so great.
my fear is, and I think me and Kimby are in the same boat. My fear is that whenever he gets out, what happens when he goes in the store to buy a drink? Uh-oh.
Right.
In other words,
It's right there.
there's the alcohol right there, and so, what are we there to look for?
Exactly.
I was going to say hi to somebody. I missed it. So let me, Budgie.
Budgie.
Yep,
Budgie.
I think that might be the name. Is that the name?
I think so.
Yep, it looks
Yeah, I
like
see Budgie.
looks like a little
Budgie.
bird.
Yeah, it's a little
Yep.
budgie bird.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's knock this one out so we can get out of here for the night.
Cool.
It's way after my
Sounds good.
bedtime.
Okay.
All right, so here he come back there with him. Hey, just to brag, this defense attorney here, I'm working on getting an interview with him. So hopefully I can interview him because he's got a great reputation, and we'll see just how that goes.
Judge,
Phosphorus or THC amphetamines, ecstasy, and meth.
Shocking. It stops today. You will be required to come here every Monday and Thursday to take a drug and alcohol test. The next time you test positive for meth, ecstasy, what else?
Meth, ecstasy,
Amphetamines, phencyclidine, whatever it is, you're going to stay with me, and I will put you in a rehab facility myself. Do you understand? I'm giving you the opportunity to stop using drugs now on your own. If you're incapable of doing it on your own, then you will be doing it with me. So you need to do whatever you can to stop using dope. Are you high right now?
Oh, freaked out.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Akron?
Social Security disability.
How do you really get money?
Social Security disability.
I don't understand that.
How are you going to stop using?
I don't know. I don't know how. I don't understand that. I don't know anything about this guy, so I don't want to speculate. But I just don't understand how so many people get Social Security disability. But like I said, I have no idea what this guy's backstory is. So
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people that should be on Social Security can't get it, and other people that should not be on Social Security or have abused it, get it fairly easy.
Yeah.
I'm fairly.
I know. Here's a really interesting. So my mom, a couple of years ago, got on Social Security disability because she has COPD really bad, and I did not know this, but when you get on Social Security disability, it hits your credit really, really hard. Like she will forever have a bad credit score because she's on social. Like she's like at like a four. She as soon as she got Social Security disability, she like immediately went to like a 400 credit score, and I didn't know that it does that. And she was like, "Yeah, my attorney told me that it's going to affect my credit score once I get disability," and I had no idea about that. So very little piece of information people might not know.
Yeah, I've never thought about that. Since we got everybody's attention here, let's talk about the Fleischer thing and what happened on Friday. The answer is simple.
Okay, yeah.
The answer is simple. Nobody knows. Anything anybody says is speculation. I'm assuming Victoria knows because I'm assuming Victoria works in that office, and I'm assuming it, it has something to do with office politics. But anything you see on the internet, anything you see in a Discord, anything you see on any creator, it's all speculation.
And do not contact the court. That is absolutely 100% inappropriate.
Yeah, well,
I want that out there very clear as day. They don't need it. Random people calling and complaining because their judge isn't. I mean, no, don't do that. They got enough things to worry about.
Yeah, because in the end, if your area code isn't Harris County, you're wasting their time. They've got enough of their own business to deal with. I'm assuming they don't have extra people just to sit there and answer the phone. They're probably like me. If somebody calls on the phone, I wonder what the hell they're doing. Even like with me and Emily, most time we'll just text. We've just gotten away from phone calls. We try to do the FaceTime calling. If we're not around, but in the end, leave them alone. If you want to support Judge Fleischer, support him. Bodie asking what happened.
Yeah.
Friday morning, the judge's channel is empty, and he's back to streaming on Zoom only. It's the same as it was back in May. It's the same as it was back in May, and so there's nothing changed. The court still moves on. People still go through there. It's just not on YouTube. We can come up with a 1,000 different ideas. I can blame 100 people. I can blame 1,000 people, and every bit of it's speculation. Every bit of it's rumors. And so I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to say, me as a creator, me as a, YouTube person, I'm going to add more context to it. I'm going to add more details to it. I'm not going to, the shorts that we make sometimes leave out the context. I'm going to be more conscious in the shorts I make and make sure that there's a video to give the full context to the full clip. A channel I hate, a group of people I hate called the Young Turks did a video, and it put the judge in a great light. But putting the people in a great light is also exposing it for others. So in the end, just let it go, enjoy it for what it is, but understand that the whole time we were spectators in the court. We were not part of the court process. We were watching it. We were fans, but we were never part of the court process. We had no right to call the court. We had no right to do anything. And I'm not saying that anybody has. I have no evidence that anyone has, but I know people have reached out to me on Discord saying, "Hey, let's all call the judge." And I don't want to be any part of that. And
no, absolutely
not. And so don't do it. And so you're putting yourself in a bad spot to get involved in that. But Bodie saying someone called Judge Middleton's secretary and yelled at her. Absolutely.
No.
Don't do that. Judge Middleton gave a little admonition online to, cut the crap out. And so let's get back to this. I got to go to bed.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm a simple person. I understand the gravity here is like, it's not,
And I'm having a competent examination prepared for him. He's informed me that he has mental issues, that he's been institutionalized.
It's all, Mr. D, it's all because of one reason and one reason only.
I understand.
And I'm going to tell you now, if you continue to use the dope, you have little synapses in your brain, right? Do you know what a synapse is? Okay. You have these little wires in your brain. And if you continue to use dope, those wires, instead of the electrodes, they're going to jumble, they're going to get all crazy and just...
They fill up and they overflow. They can't receive. They can't receive.
If you continue to use dope, you're going to start having psychosis, paranoia, and it only leads and ends up worse. You need to stop now before you hit the point of no return. Do you understand?
Sure.
Do you have any health insurance?
ATX is my my food stamps, like, I didn't give this one half. Yeah.
Where do you live now? Who do you have in your life?
Have in my life?
Who do you have in your life? Okay, you haven't found Jesus yet, so who else do you have in your life? Who?
That's it, man. I got Jesus.
How old are you?
I'm 40, getting ready to be 41.
You're 41. Where's mom and dad?
They died over a decade ago.
How old
Who
is
else
this
do you
guy?
have in your life that can help you out?
Me.
I think they said he's 23 or 24.
Good God.
No, I think he was 39, if I'm not mistaken. I'm almost certain of it.
Okay.
That is funny, Victoria. That is funny. The judge got hacked. Yes, everybody. I have a sponsor named Aura, AURA.com/American Courts. If you go there, you get a 2-week free trial. It's $15 a month, and they do a lot of services that you may already have, some services that you don't have, but they do put everything in one app. And I don't like subscriptions. I don't like subscription anything, but they got me to try it out, and after they got me to try it out, I got it for everyone in my family, and so it was worth it. It was worth it.
Nice.
Nan saying that he said he was just about 41. But back to the Aura thing, I probably get 10 sponsor offers a day. I'd say I get 10 a day, and probably 11 of them are scams. Most of them are scams, and most of them are garbage. They want you to promote a product that you just simply you have no integrity if you talk about that product. The one with Aura, they gave it to me for a couple of months to get me to try it, and like I said, I ended up signing up. Even my 16-year-old kid has it, and so it makes sense. It makes sense. My brother is on disability. My brother has a bad hip, and he's disabled. He's in bad shape. There's some guy in Miami using his social security number, and it's continuously giving my brother trouble. And so it makes sense to have something like that. My channel got hacked in July. Man, it would have been great if my passwords would have been protected. Man, it would have been great if everything was protected, but it wasn't. And so, anyways, thank you, Victoria. I'll go ahead and put the link in the description, just because it does make the channel money. It does support the channel, and so it is smart to do that. But Victoria is still she's still
Before
spreading
you
rumors.
unpause, I just want to say, Victoria's famous. Yeah, her rumors are fantastic. I do want to kind of touch on something somebody said about the chat. I think it was, who was it?
It was Bodie.
I think it was Bodie. Yeah. So that was what we were trying to do. I don't think it was related to the chat. We don't know if it was related to the chat. We don't know anything. However, I did want to touch on that what we were trying to do in chat was something that hasn't been done before. Like, you don't go to any other live streams that are official court live streams that have an active chat. So we just tried to do something new and try to keep it as super clean as possible. Because if you guys, I always say this, if you watched any of the Judge Boyd recusal hearings, that's exactly the reason we were super, super strict about what was said in chat. We just wanted it as clean as possible. It's not a personal thing. It's not because we don't think what you said was funny or we don't agree with it. It's just we need to make it look as presentable and squeaky clean as possible. So if that comes back again, we're still going to do that. However, remember, we're also learning. This is all a learning curve. We're constantly trying to find different ways to improve and make things better for everybody. We take feedback. We're not doing it for the power or anything like that. We want to do it because we want it to be welcoming. We want everybody to be able to talk to each other, connect with each other. So if and when it does come back, and hopefully chat comes back with it, just keep that in mind, that if you get a comment deleted, not a big deal. We're just doing it to make things look good. And if you get put in timeout for 5 minutes, that's usually not personal either. It's just gives us a few seconds of breathing room because chat moves really fast. Sometimes we get a couple hundred people in there all talking at the same time. So if it comes back, I just want people to keep that in mind. We love everybody. We're not perfect. We're trying to make it better. Again, if it comes back, that we're going to continue to do that, continue to make things better. But we got to work around now. We're going to watch the Harris County stream. We've got Kathy's Discord that we're talking in during the stream. So all is not lost. We got workarounds. Not a big deal. We'll make it happen.
And Fozzie's bringing up, I think a huge one people should avoid that always gets deleted is about people not in the U.S. legally. Those get deleted.
100%.
They do, because that is 100% a political issue. It's 100% a political issue. Everyone's got strong feelings about it one way or the other. Thank you so much, Gina. Thank you so much, and you have a great night. I have strong feelings about it. I'm probably more conservative than anybody in the room, most every time I'm around. And I worked in Tennessee, and I worked with a lot of people that would be considered illegal, a lot of people that were here without permission. And they've got an issue they've got to work out. There's something in society that we've got to fix. Something's broken. But most of the people are good people. Most of the people are here because of family circumstances. I live in Florida because that's where my family come from. I grew up in Florida because that's where my family was. If my family moved to Wyoming, I would be from Wyoming. So a lot of people that are here in the United States that are not here with permission came through a crappy situation. They came through a bad situation. If I were in Guatemala or Mexico or one of these countries where they're having a lot of struggle and a lot of issues, and I thought I could get to the United States, I would do it in a heartbeat. I have friends in Lithuania, college-educated people in Lithuania that are waiting 5 to 10 years in order to get to the United States.
Yep.
And so
I had a friend from Sri Lanka. He had to come here and wait 2 years for his wife to get hers to come over. They couldn't come over together. He was separated from his wife and his kid for 2 years.
Right. Now, I don't have a solution to the problem. It's a hell of a broken problem. But we're not going to solve it in chat.
100%. Yeah. And I've seen people where I saw this one woman who was from Guatemala, and she walked for 26 days to cross into the US because she was 5 months pregnant, and she got sent back, and then she turned around and did it again because she needed to have care for her baby. Her baby had, in the womb, they had established that it had something that needed whatever technology we have in the US. So she did this twice, walking for 26 days while 5 and then 6 months pregnant, just for the opportunity to have her baby born here. They're not bad people. Like, not everybody is bad. There's bad people in every group you get, but some of these people just want a good life, and we have no idea their backstory. We don't know if without permission means that they're in process of getting their asylum approved. We don't know.
But as far as if we're gonna act like we all follow the laws, it is a breaking the law. But we don't, if you knew that your neighbor was driving without a license, you'd say, "Oh, they should get that fixed." And so I'm never going to just dismiss it. I'll use marijuana as an example. I have no use for marijuana in my life. I think it's a horrible thing. I think it's destroying society. But my freedom to do whatever I want trumps that, and I believe everyone else's freedom does as well. Now, I believe the law should change if people want to, as a society, they want to smoke marijuana, they should change the law. They've done it in most states.
Right.
It's, as long as it's illegal, it's still illegal. No matter what, it's illegal. Change the laws, do whatever you want to do. Alcohol is legal. I choose not to drink alcohol, but I don't judge anyone who does, because their right to do what they want to do is that. But we got to be a society of laws. We've got to follow the rules. And that
100%, I agree.
And there's a group that is not following those rules. And so we need to either fix the rules, change the rules, or enforce the rules. Now, I don't know how it gets done. That's way above my pay grade. But we're never going to solve it in Chad, and being mad at 2 Spanish speakers in Chad is not going to help. You know, being mad because they had to have a translator. Well, hell, we wouldn't ever get to meet
We
Lewis
don't
if
have
we
an
didn't have a
official,
translator.
yeah, we don't have an official language here. It's like they could be, they could have been born here and just happen to not know English. Like that does happen. I know it's
Yeah,
few
we
and far
do. Yeah,
between,
we
but
do ATX. We
we
speak
don't
American
know.
here. We speak American here.
Exactly. And sometimes bad American.
Yeah, Fozzie's
But
asking if
yeah,
we can pause the video. He's going to go grab a beer real quick.
there you go.
And Kimby saying that,
Yeah, I can be agree. Yeah, I'd rather have marijuana legal than alcohol too.
yeah, in Florida
Tax it.
a couple years ago, they made medical marijuana legal, and it's grown real fast throughout the state. And I'm in the industrial world, and you know, I was worried about the industrial accidents. I was worried about, you know, people crashing
Mhm.
forklifts, people, you know, having all kinds of accidents, and that hasn't happened. And so, in reality, there is some stigma to it. There is some dogma to it. There is, there is a little bit of paranoia into it. But you know, I choose that I'm not going to do it. Luckily enough, my wife's not going to do it. And you're right. So they don't fight. My biggest problem is getting somebody to show up for a damn job interview. And so
Right.
that's where my problem comes in. But we're going to try to finish this up. Yep.
Yeah, sorry guys, we keep getting on tangents. We'll finish it.
I come here to try to figure things out because things weren't going well. In Missouri, I didn't have nothing there. I came here, it's been over a year. I've had a lot of things stolen from me, so it's been really hard to try to reboot. It's just like, it's bad times. So like, I don't know what else to do. I mean, I understand the gravity of the situation. I really wish I had not done that, but like.
Don't talk about the fact of the case.
All right,
Mr. Akers, how do we go forward? How on earth are you going to be able to stop without me having to put you in jail?
I have the ability to. I'm not that addicted.
I'm not that addicted. Yeah.
It's a matter of I see that.
When is the last time that you've not used?
Honestly, it's more of a current issue. I haven't. I never was. It never was a drug of choice. So like, sort of reason. So like, and it's not going to be a trouble. That big of an issue, though. I mean,
are you tired of feeling like this?
Oh God, I was.
Tired of feeling this. I don't understand how to phrase the question. I just what I want is try to finish this, move on from here, because like I just got to a place, find a place that has showers for homeless, and I had to go get an address. I have things I've had trouble with the homeless that give help, because when I go, because I have the social security check, they people find me.
I'm gonna try to find you a
tell
place
if
where you
he's
can
nervous
where you
or
can
high.
crash.
I'd rather not. Can I just? Can you give me the week?
He seems high.
Gotta cut off these streets.
You're doing your things your way, and it's not been going well. And if you don't realize that, then I'm here to tell you that you don't look good. You're not acting well. And it looks like you're either high right now or you're coming down. And I'm telling you that you're slowly killing yourself. And I'm seeing you deteriorate in my eyes. And in the last year and a half that you and I have known each other, you were deteriorating. The last time you were here, you had more teeth than you do now. What's going to happen in a year?
Like things have not jumped.
So listen, listen, it stops now.
Yes, sir.
No more dope. I will see you here on Thursday for you to take another drug test. And you will test every week with me. The next time you test positive, I'm going to keep you. So I'm giving you the opportunity to stop on your own. If you fail me, then you will stay with me. Do you understand? I'm giving you a heads up that you're slowly, not slowly, but you're going like this. And it's not it needs to stop. Okay?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
See you
Thank
Thursday. I will give you resources if you want them. But try to use them so you're not on the street anymore. So we'll give you resources.
Thank you, Judge. Okay, have a seat, sir.
All right, we're gonna get out of here for tonight. Thank you everybody so
Thank
much.
you guys. Thank you guys
The-
so much. This is my first time being live, so I appreciate the support, guys, coming out. I know it's really late for a lot of you, but I super appreciate it. It means the world to me. You guys came out and listened to me ramble.
And so what we're probably going to do with this is we're probably going to evolve into another live, like we do with American Courts Live, but one where we do more stopping and talking and doing some of that, because I don't like the stopping and talking. I really like I just like to watch the court. I like to do that, but Fozzie had to break it down for me, the point of lives and the benefits of lives and I guess you'd say the culture of them. And so we're going to do more of that. I didn't like the idea of doing it by myself. Kathy can pull it off because Kathy is Kathy. I don't see any other channels that are pulling it off that I like. And so I think I can do it better if I have an ATX Alli with me, a Jay with me, a Roll on G with me, a Linus with me. I think I can do it whenever we have somebody with a different world perspective, somebody who's had different experiences, and we can just work together and, we can learn from each other. Thank you for the comments. Thank you. I've had a blast on here. I think it's been one of my favorite
Yeah, I've had
lives.
a great time. Yeah, thank you guys all for coming out. You were great interacting with us. Throw us some feedback, anything we did wrong, or you think that we should tweak here and there, please throw us a comment, reach out to us in Discord. I think my name is the same in Discord. My username is still ATX Alli or something to that
It
effect.
is,
It's got the same. You'll see the dog. So if you want to
mine
reach out
is
to me in
Bill in
Discord, you
Discord.
can.
Yeah, mine's Bill in Discord. Bill's my name, so that it makes sense there. Thank you there, but Budgie.
Thanks.
That's you being from England is something I want to explore one day. An employer of mine, his wife is from Scotland, and I do a lot of talking with her about it and learning a lot about from Linus. Learning about Linus has helped me learn more about the world. So it's great.
I know my husband's like, why are all these people from around the world watching US courts? I was like, baby, I have no idea, but I'm glad they're there.
I think the answer is very simple. Everyone loves a shit show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a real life drama.
When you watch a plane crash, you wish it didn't crash, but you're going to watch it anyways. And so, but just, getting to ask Rebecca, throw the goat some questions is just awesome. But everyone, thank you so much. We're going to get out of here and get some sleep, but also give us a time of what works best for you. And if you're in another country and you give us a time, you got to tell me what country you're in, because I can't do the math. Tokyo will talk, guys, and will talk to me about doing a show at a certain time, and he'll tell me, 10 o'clock a.m. Thursday night, and I don't know what the hell he's talking about. So if you want to give a suggestion on what time works for you guys, let us know. In my head, I'd rather do 6 p.m. every night, but I'm not going up against Biggin because I want to watch Biggin. I want to support him.
Right.
But I'm just saying, in my world, I would love to do that. But I'm going to watch Biggin. I'm going to support Biggin, and then I'll do my thing at 8. So, but let us know what you think about it. We're going to get out of here. Thank you all.
Thank you all so much. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the memberships. Thank you all for just being here and listening and lurking and chatting. And we love you all. Thank you so much.
And get Linus to Houston. I just need that to be over with in my life. just get her to Houston.
Yeah, Linus is gonna come hopefully in November. Please, if you have any spare dollars or Amsterland money, I don't know what the hell they use over there, to throw in the GoFundMe, that's great. If not, that's great too.
All right, we're gonna go.
I'm gonna, yeah, love you all.